All right, Steve. Well, it is your voice, your vote. The New Hampshire township of Dixville Notch continued its midnight voting tradition where all 6 residents cast their ballot for president. And here are the results of the tiny town. It's tied. 3 votes for each candidate. You can see our brand new election graphics there. Now, this tradition dates back to 1960. In Maryland and the district, the polls will stay open until 8 tonight. Virginia closes at 7 p.m. And remember, if you're in line and the polls close, you can still vote. If you're headed to cast your ballot in the district, you may notice the tension as the city prepares for possible unrest following the results of the presidential election, despite the fact that results may not come in immediately. Metropolitan Police Chief Pamela Smith is reminding residents that absolutely no violence, destruction, or any unlawful behavior will be tolerated. And Mayor Bowser is stressing the importance of that message.
MPD is out in all 8 wards and is very focused on commercial districts in all 8 wards. We expect to make a National Guard request during that period.
That request for the National Guard may not come today or tomorrow, but Mayor Bowser expects it to be sometime during the election season, which lasts until Inauguration Day, January 20th. We will get to the presidential race in a moment, but first, 7 is on your side, keeping you informed about the local races we are monitoring. We begin in Maryland, where Republican Larry Hogan was up early with his wife voting at a school in Davidsonville.
I think lightning is going to strike 3 times. They always count us out. We've always been an underdog. Tonight, we're going to, once again, for the 3rd time, have the biggest surprise upset in America.
With his opponent, Democrat Angela Alsobrooks voted in Upper Marlboro,
really
accompanied by her daughter Alex, who voted for the first time.
Who've come out as well today. They've been out here with their daughters and sons. I've seen so many first-time voters. I've never seen this many young people at a polling place, and so a cross-generational effort that we have seen. I'm so proud.
Our John Gonzalez has details on some of the other elections you need to know happening in the state.
Yeah, here at Henry Wise High School, there has been a long line ever since the polls opened at 7 o'clock this morning. Take a look. Of course, no school for students here in Prince George's County. And this is a state that already saw strong voter turnout when talking about in-person early voting and mail-in ballots. More than 880,000 mail-in ballots have been sent to homes here in Maryland, and some of the tightest contests may come down to those mail-in counts, which can take some time. As of this past weekend, more than 320,000 of those ballots had already been returned. Now, Maryland voters are deciding if abortion rights should be put into the state's constitution, even though the wording of the ballot question never mentions the word abortion. In Montgomery County, question A proposes limiting the county executive to only 2 terms. The race to succeed outgoing Representative David Trone in the state's 6th congressional district is in a virtual dead heat. Democrat April McClain Delaney against Republican nominee former Delegate Neil Parrott. Now, nonprofit organizations are also stepping up to help with the process this year. For example, more than 180 Common Cause Maryland poll monitors will be at voting locations flagging issues for any of the staff there and, of course, answering questions voters may have as they head to the polls today. In Upper Marlboro, John Gonzalez, 7 News.
And turning to Virginia, where Joy Wang is in Woodbridge, keeping an eye on the race that could determine the balance of power in the U.S. House.
This race has the most interest of any in the area. I saw it on a list of 10 House seats to watch, and that's with all 435 House seats on ballots nationwide. And so Republicans, they are trying to defend that slim majority. Meanwhile, Democrats are really looking to hold on to this one, and they're trying to gain 4 seats to be able to flip the chamber. Just after polls opened in Virginia at 6 o'clock this morning, we saw Vindman voting. Now to who's currently holding this seat, Representative Spanberger. She's a moderate Democrat who isn't seeking re-election to run for governor. Competing for that open seat are Republican Derek Anderson and Democrat Eugene Vindman. Both are lawyers and Army veterans. Now, I spoke with political experts both in and out of the DMV to get a better idea of just how close this race is. The latest Republican-sponsored poll showing Vindman up by 2 points. Some experts say this congressional seat is a widely considered toss-up race that could predict which party controls the House. Another expert says Democrats are in a good spot for this seat. So take a listen to what both candidates had to say in their last push for voters.
I've lived the American dream. I've had the opportunity to be the first person in my family to go to college. I graduated just down the street from here in Cortland High School. I joined the Army, was a Green Beret, did 6 total deployments, including Iraq and Afghanistan. Ended up earning my law degree and clerking for 2 federal judges. So, I've truly lived the American dream, and I get a great opportunity here to represent the people here in the 7th District, the people that raised me.
You don't come to this country as immigrants. My dad, at the age of 47 with 5 people and $800 if you're not an optimist. So we are a family of optimists, decades of hard work, 25-year military career, and education. I'm proud to be living an example of the American dream with my wonderful wife and 2 kids here in Dale City, and I want to make sure that's available for everybody else in the 7th Congressional District and around the country.
And that was Vindman just after casting that ballot this morning. Now, both campaigns spent Election Day Eve in Fredericksburg. Anderson, he was with Governor Glenn Youngkin, as well as House Speaker Mike Johnson. Meanwhile, Vindman was campaigning with Senator Tim Kaine. In Woodbridge, Joy Wang, back to you.
In D.C., another race we are watching closely is one for Ward 8. Incumbent council member Trayon White faces challenger Nate Derenge. All eyes have been on White since August, when he was indicted on federal bribery charges. He's accused of accepting thousands of dollars in kickbacks in exchange for steering city contracts. Just last week, our I-team learned White's re-election campaign was $2,000 in debt ahead of Election Day. 7 News has been following this story for months. You can find all our past reporting on WJLA.com. Now for the presidential race. We know the candidates. Headquarters are very busy. Rena Roy takes us to the former President Donald Trump, who plans to watch the results tonight in Florida. And Zohreen Shah has the latest from Howard University, where Vice President Harris is holding her election party tonight.
The former president is already here in Palm Beach today casting his vote, and he's also casting doubt on the outcome of the election, once again spreading false claims about election integrity. And before the votes have even been counted, somehow claiming that he is ahead. We will, of course, not know that until we get the results. Donald Trump launched his campaign 720 days ago, and he ended it with a marathon 24 hours rallying in 3 different swing states. He is expected to hold several dinners tonight at his Mar-a-Lago club. His supporters will be gathering at the Palm Beach Convention Center, where it is unclear if we will hear from him tonight or not. Covering the Trump campaign in West Palm Beach, Florida, Rena Roy, ABC News.
VP Harris is in D.C. today with family, but she's doing radio interviews in battleground states all day today. And her team knows this race is incredibly close and every vote matters. Her election night party tonight is at Howard University, and she spoke to an Atlanta-based radio station just a bit ago about the significance of Howard. She says the first race that she ever ran was at Howard University for freshman class representative. It is a race that she won, and she says if she wins tonight, she will be the first president ever to have been an HBCU grad. Now, yesterday, she spent the entire day crisscrossing the state of Pennsylvania. It has 19 electoral votes, the battleground state with the most votes. She went to a rally there, she went door knocking, and she's been making her closing arguments, and for a few weeks now, saying that it is about turning the page from the Donald Trump era, and we'll see if the rest of the country agrees with that tonight. Zohreen Shah, ABC News, reporting on the Harris campaign from Washington.
And to help voters get to the polls today, several rideshare companies are helping get out the vote. Several rideshare companies are doing this. Uber, Lyft, Lime, they're offering assistance to voters. Lime is offering free scooter rides to some locations. Uber and Lyft are offering discounts using codes listed right here. So Lyft, vote 24, and Uber is go vote. Today, the National Cathedral is holding an all-day Election Day prayer vigil. An interfaith service is going on right now. An evening prayer service will be held at 5 p.m., followed by the final service, which is at 8:45 tonight. And 7 News is your election headquarters. Stay with us all day long. From, of course, the polls opened already to when the results start coming in. We will have special election coverage on 7 News starting at 8 tonight. You can scan the QR code on your screen for a complete election guide on WJLA.com.